Have you ever met one of those people who just can't be stopped? It's like they're unstoppable.
Yeah, I have.
Me too.
What's their mystique?
Nothing stops these people.
Don't stop.
Welcome to Mission Unstoppable with Coach Frankie Picasso. You're about to meet some of the most amazing people.
Stop. Don't stop.
They've accomplished their goals despite insurmountable odds. They beat adversity, physical hardship, and traumatic events, and emerged triumphantly. They're people just like you and me, and they're winners. Are you unstoppable? Here's Frankie to show you how.
Hello there, and welcome to Mission Unstoppable Radio. Today we are going to meet two ladies who have a passion and a love for the residents of Story Book Primate Sanctuary. And they both volunteer their time and talents to see that Canada's only primate sanctuary continues to thrive. Story Book Primate Sanctuary seems like a wonderful place to retire from animal testing in laboratories, living in garages, having leashes, being deprived of, and neglected and abused. And I think that we'd all be lucky to end up in a place where we no longer have to worry about our next meal or being frightened or wondering what tomorrow will bring. Well, every one of us loves a stress-free retirement, and I think these monkeys deserve it. Well, today we are going to meet two ladies who make that possible. Charmaine Quinn is with us, and Anita Kunz is with us. And Charmaine is a dedicated volunteer at Storybook Farm. She's worked tirelessly around the world helping primates, great apes, and other animals. Her international volunteering has taken her to Belize. She's worked for Wild Tracks, taking care of howler monkeys and manatees. In Borneo, assisting with the rehabilitation of orphaned orangutans. She's also helped groom donkeys at the Donkey Sanctuary, one of my favorite places. And she's raising awareness of the plight of rescued chimpanzees from the Fauna Foundation and being a docent at the Toronto Zoo. And her passion for orangutans led her to be the secretary for the Borneo Orangutan Society. And in Borneo, she had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Tony Blair and educating him and his family about infant orangutans that she was taking care of. Charmaine's work in Borneo was also acknowledged by the High Commission of Canada in Malaysia in their newsletter. Charmaine has been volunteering at Storybook Primate Sanctuary since 2007, and she says this is the most important thing in her life, helping raise awareness of the traumas of the exotic pet trade and monkeys in research. And we're going to learn more about her in just a moment. She is also the muse of Pockets Warhol. Also joining us, I said, was world-renowned Canadian artist and Order of Canada recipient Anita Kunz. Yes, we are in the presence of Canadian royalty here. It would take an entire hour, I should say, to list all of Anita's accomplishments, but the highlights include being widely published in countries such as Germany, Japan, Sweden, Norway, Canada, South Africa, Holland, Portugal, France, and England. Her work has been seen in Time Magazine, Rolling Stone, Vanity Fair, The New Yorker, GQ, New York Times, Sony Music, Random House Publishing, and many, many more. She's also illustrated more than 50 book jacket covers. Anita has frequently teaches workshops and lectures at universities and institutions internationally, including the Smithsonian and the Corcoran in Washington, D.C. Her works are in permanent collections, which is very exciting, I think, at the Library of Congress, the Canadian Archives in Ottawa, the Musée Militaire de France in Paris, and the Museum of Contemporary Art in Rome. And a number of her Time Magazine cover paintings are in the permanent collection at the National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C. In 1997, she received the Les Usherwood Lifetime Achievement Award for Advertising and Design Club of Canada. She has been named one of the 50 most influential women in Canada by National Post. As I said, she also received the Order of Canada, Canada's highest civilian honor, and she also just received the Queen's Jubilee Medal of Honor. And this year, in 2017, she's going to be inducted in the Museum of American Illustration Hall of Fame in New York City. Welcome, ladies. Wow, look at your pedigrees. Amazing. I ran out of breath. Oh my goodness.
The hour's
so
almost
exciting.
up there.
I know. There we go. See? Told you. I am so thrilled to be with both of you, and I was really thrilled to get an email from Storybook telling me that, on Thursday there's a benefit. And Anita and Charmaine, both of you, I'm sure, are involved with that. Anita, I know that you have been responsible for getting over 80 artists to give their works, so that to donate their works of art, so that folks like us can go and purchase them to help Storybook continue on with their journey. Charmaine, you've been there for quite a long time as a volunteer.
Right.
Was there new ownership takeover recently?
There was. Within the last couple of years, we've had the board of directors taking over the sanctuary. The previous owner decided not to continue on with the sanctuary, and so at that point we had to have a fundraiser, and there was a couple of people in Toronto that saw. I went on CP24 to talk to Ann Romer on Animal House Calls about the situation of the sanctuary, that it was in we weren't doing well. We didn't know what to do. We have 19 monkeys at the time. Where would we go? We didn't have any money for property. So a husband and wife in Toronto came forward and donated most of the property to us. So it was a huge amount of money, and one of the other board of directors came forward with the balance. So it helped us secure the property and helped us secure the future of the monkeys. But it continues all the time to try to do the fundraising because they have long lifespans, so it can go on for a while, the treatment for them.
So the primates that you have currently living there, what are their breeds specifically?
Well, we have baboons, we have capuchin monkeys, we have lemurs, there's a squirrel monkey, spider monkeys, there's one marmoset, and we have macaques as well, which is also Darwin, the IKEA monkey is there too.
Wow.
So we have quite a few primates. I mean, it's a small sanctuary, and there's many primates in Canada that do need homes. Also, we have two from a research facility as well.
Wow!
So it's constant.
Were they illegal pets, or were they legal pets that people just didn't realize were going to be so difficult to look after?
In Canada, we don't really have bylaws, and it goes by townships and things like that. So you can have exotic animals outside Toronto in some places because they've never really passed bylaws about this. So in Toronto, you're not allowed to have these animals, which is why Darwin ended up at the sanctuary, because she was in Toronto when he got loose. So these pets are a problem because it's a problem with the exotic animal trade. So the Canadian government hasn't really passed any legislation about trying to keep this right through the province. So BC has a province-wide ban on exotic animals, but Ontario doesn't. So none of the other provinces do either.
Storybook is a sanctuary. It's not really a zoo. It's not a place where people, can. You look for volunteers, but it's not a place where you want people to come and play with them. They're wild animals.
No, it's not like that at all. So we have open days during certain months, starting from the spring to the fall. Once the month, people can come and they can learn about the primates and educate children what's going on in this field, because it is a huge problem in Canada that people want to have these animals as pets. They are high maintenance. It's hard to take care of monkeys. They bite. They can carry diseases. So it's something that it's not something that would be in a home.
Right.
Darwin should never be in a house. So, but at the time, this is what happens. Is people think it's something that's.
I want you to tell Darwin's story in just a moment, but I want to meet Anita. Anita, how did you first become involved with the sanctuary? When did you go there, or what made you go there?
Well, I've always been a huge animal lover since I was a kid. So, I went there. I went there with my niece, who is also an animal lover, and we just wanted to check out the monkeys. We'd heard about the primate sanctuary, So when we got there, I mean, of course, I think the animals are extraordinary. I mean, they're so close to us. It's scary. I mean, it's amazing. We were blown away, and I met Dinah Liepa, who I guess she's the co-owner of the sanctuary, and I think director. I'm not sure. Anyway, and I knew her in my advertising days in Toronto, and so we started talking, and she was telling me these stories and about how, what you were saying earlier about everybody loves a cute little baby monkey, but, and everybody wants a little baby monkey to dress up. But the trouble is, with somebody like Darwin now, he's an adolescent male, and they're so close to humans, and he can bend rebar. I mean, do you really want a pet?
Yeah.
So after the after they're babies, then they're not pets, they're wild. So anyway, I was so incredibly moved by this. I went, I think once or twice after that, and I wanted to do something. I mean, I was so profoundly moved by both what these incredible volunteers are doing. I was really moved by the fact that, it's all private. Like every cent goes to the monkeys. It's nothing. Nothing comes from the government, and I was just really moved to hear how many monkeys have to be euthanized. I was just profoundly moved, and I wanted to do something. I thought, man, if I had $1 million, I would give them everything. And I thought,
wow.
What can I do? And I thought, well, I don't have tons of money to give, but maybe I can put on Facebook and see if some of my artist friends might, donate a piece of art. Maybe we can have a pre-Christmas little fundraiser. I might get 5 or 10 paintings. But so I put it up on Facebook, and over 100 people replied that they did. So it was really, I was amazed that so many people were willing to help with this fundraiser. So that's how I became involved.
That is so exciting. We're going to go to commercial break in just about a minute, but when we come back, I want to talk about how many monkeys are euthanized and why, and all of the statistics behind it, because I think it's important that people understand, just as it is, we know the dog shelter world, but we don't know, the monkey world. And so I think that would be really important to find out a little bit more about that. And maybe Charmaine, you're the one to talk about that a little bit. And I love that, art's very important to me. I hate to call myself an artist around you, Anita, but I paint pets too. And that you have a celebrity monkey painter artist in Pockets Warhol, and we'll talk a little bit about him too, and all that he's doing with his philanthropy to help raise funds for the sanctuary. But we are going to go to a commercial break. So don't go anywhere. Stick around. If you want, you can call us. Phone number is 903-58. What is the phone number there? 787-5887. There you go. And you can give us a call. And if you want to ask about the monkeys to either Charmaine or Anita, you can do that. And go to the website, thegoodradionetwork.com, and look for the information about the fundraiser on Thursday. We'll be right back.
Don't stop.
That's right. Don't stop listening. Mission Unstoppable with Coach Frankie Picasso will continue right after these messages.
Stop.
The League of Women Voters reminds you that on Election Day, we are all equal. Please join your friends and neighbors by registering to vote and going to the polls November 8th. Visit www.vote411.org to find out who will be on your ballot and how the voting process works in your community. This election is about our future, and we all need to weigh in.
It's the Fitness Minute with fitness expert Annette Hammond.
If you are looking to drop a few extra pounds or to just get more toned, working out with an exercise ball is a good idea. Livestrong.com says that when you perform exercises on a stability ball, you are engaging your core and helping to shape and tone your abs. Exercising with a stability ball, also known as an exercise or fitness ball, will strengthen your core and improve your balance and stability. They remind us that it isn't possible to spot reduce. You need to consume fewer calories than you burn, and then the weight will come off all over your body, including around your waist. As you are cutting back on calories, be sure to use the exercise ball during this time to tighten and tone your waist. Your newly sculpted abs will become more and more visible as your weight decreases. I'm Annette Hammond. Like us on Facebook at Fitness Minute with Annette Hammond.
Okay, and we're back. I told you we'd be back, and we're back with Charmaine, and we're back with Anita, and we're talking about storybook monkeys who live at the sanctuary, at Storybook Sanctuary, Primate Sanctuary. Before we went to break, I said that we were going to come back, Charmaine, and we were going to get a little bit of history or statistics about these monkeys. Anita mentioned that many are euthanized. Why are they euthanized, and where is this being done?
Well, a lot of the monkeys that are in labs are being euthanized after everything's sort of they finish the protocol. So a lot of them are. It's just sort of they're shuffled through there, and people don't really even know what's going on inside these laboratories. A lot of primates are probably pets. People don't know about them, so they probably might get them euthanized. It's hard because you can't keep track of private pets across Canada.
Right, right.
It's
so
not
what's the most
that people do.
Is there one breed of monkey that they're using in these labs, or all of them? They
usually use rhesus macaques, but they do often have capuchins as well, squirrel monkeys, marmosets. So there's a wide range depending on what study they're using. It probably depends on which kind of primate they're interested in using, but they're all probably in there. They used to be from chimpanzees, but now they're trying to move all of those out to Florida to save the chimps. So a lot of that testing is ending chimpanzees, but the monkeys are still in labs.
Yeah. So how many monkeys would be in a lab, let's say in Canada at one given time?
Like across Canada?
Yeah, across Canada.
Probably maybe a few thousand. They're in universities. I'd say
and where are they coming from?
They never give numbers. It's hard to get numbers on that.
I know because another artist friend of mine, Anita, he just finished painting 5,400 paintings of dogs who were killed in shelters every day, and that was a way to show. It takes up like 2 football fields to show how many animals are killed daily, and so I think that when we can visualize something, it's a little bit more horrific than just say a monkey got killed. Now there's like 2,000 of them, getting killed. So it seems to me that we care more when we can visualize that a little bit more. Not that one is worse than 2,000 because they're all really bad. And it's unfortunate that people are using them for what they're using them for. And I'm glad that, pardon?
I have this idea that I think in the future we'll look back at the way that we treated animals and we'll think, how could they have been so brutal? Because the more we sort of go along and the more we understand animals, the more we understand that they're sentient beings. And, anybody who has a dog or a cat, they have feelings and they experience pain and emotions and everything. And I just think there's so much brutality in the way that we use them for,
Absolutely.
It's terrible.
It is horrific, but I think until we start treating each other well, it's going to be a while before we start treating animals better. Although more people, myself included, my husband always says, would you rather see a person killed or an animal? I'm like, a person. It's easier for me. I don't know why. But animals are just much nicer beings, most of the time. Yeah. So our famous little pockets. How did Pockets get to be called Pockets? And why did you start him on his road as an artist? Charmaine.
Okay. Well, he arrived at the sanctuary probably in about 2010. So 7 years he's been there. So he arrived from BC. He was a pet that somebody had there. And she couldn't take care of him any longer. So he was about 18 years old when he arrived. Arrived, I had worked with orangutans, and I had seen them doing artwork and things like that. And I knew that he was very clever. So I kind of thought to myself, well, first of all, I had looked at him, and I thought he did have a similarity between Andy Warhol and himself because he had very sort of white hair sticking up in the air, and his face was very pale. And so I just sort of attached the Warhol name to his name at the time, and I had started to give him children's non-toxic paints. And I wondered if he would be interested in doing it. And when I put it in there, it just sort of took off, and he sort of has this creative, he was expressing himself with the paint. And
I like his technique.
It was very interesting because it's very much like humans. There's some humans that like to paint and some others don't paint. In the primate world, some do paint and some don't. So there are chimpanzees, orangutans, other monkeys that do paint in sanctuaries and zoos, and they use that to try to do fundraising as well. So it's not original that he's doing it. There have been others doing it, but I think because of the Warhol name attached, he became quite popular in the news. And and I had started collecting the paintings and chose a lot of the Andy Warhol colors in his paintings and tried to match them up and named all the paintings, the original paintings, after Andy Warhol paintings.
Oh, that's funny.
So
that's hilarious.
I called the original show Warhol Does Warhol. And it was just a small diner in Toronto, and it got the coverage, and they put his painting on the front page of the Toronto Star next to an abstract artist named Joan Mitchell, and people couldn't really tell the difference between the monkey painting, Pockets painting, and Joan Mitchell's painting. So
wow.
At that point, it just sort of went viral. It went around the world, and then it just sort of took off, and then that's how I sort of ended up meeting Dr.Jane Goodall and giving her a painting as well. And Ricky Gervais has a painting. So, you know, he's collected quite a few fans there. Some people like to see his art. They find it interesting. And I think it's very much like a child would be painting, which means it's very natural for him, and it's just he enjoys doing it. And it's, it's a mystery as to me as to why, but I'm the only one he does paint with. So
does he see color? Like, do you find him choosing a certain color over and over again over other colors?
He prefers red. He does like red. So
okay.
There is a lot of red in some of his paintings. He likes green, but the capuchin vision is just a bit different than the human vision. So he might see red, but it might not be the form of red that we see.
Sure.
But whatever it is, he seems to choose those colors.
And Anita, I mean, as an art expert, when you look at Pocket's artwork, what do you think? What do you see? I know that you've collaborated with her.
Well, I'll just say, I mean, if anybody wants to see him painting, Charmaine has posted some videos of him working on YouTube, and it's just I find it fascinating because he's left-handed, which is kind of I don't know what that means, but
artistic.
Yes, I know. So I find it interesting, and so I think he typically Charmaine, I think he chews cashews with his right hand and paints with his left hand.
Right.
And I mean, it's just I find it really interesting because he's so absorbed in this painting. I mean, he's really on another level, and he's just so interested, and I just find it really, really interesting to watch. And that I don't know where he goes when he paints, but I think it's extraordinary. And then, like you said, I have done one collaboration with him. I mean, hopefully in the future we can do more. And other artists have expressed to me that they really would like to collaborate with him. But it's amazing, you know. So far we've done. You know, I've done the first thing, and then he's kind of gone over it and deconstructed it. But I think we're gonna in the future
like Clay.
Yeah.
Now, does he know when he's done? You know, I mean, sometimes a good artist, they just don't know when they're done.
No, he actually walks away when he's finished, but he does come back from time to time. So sometimes he'll leave, and then he'll come back and finish it later.
Oh, funny! I love that. I love that.
So you'll see him sometimes in the video. He'll actually move away from the painting, but at some point he turns around and he'll start again.
Okay. So he got a little just tired, or he wanted to come back with a fresh eye and look at it.
I'm not sure. You know, when I look at him, what he's thinking or what he's doing, and he seems to have such joy in his face, and I think because I'm standing there and I'm actually beside him because I'm videotaping, and I'm saying, "Wow, that's really great," and he's like, "Yeah, it's really great," and he seems to get excited. It's very much like a little child, though.
But you said that you know you thought he was famous because of the Warhol name, which is quite a possibility. But he's ranked number 8 among animal artists in the world. Like,
right?
How does that ranking happen?
I know.
Who's number 1?
I think it's the amount how expensive the paintings are selling for.
Oh, okay.
So number 1 would be Congo, who was a chimpanzee that years ago in the 60s they had an art show and they pretended that it was a human and nobody could tell the difference between the chimpanzee and the human. So it was sort of he was the start of all this interest in art. But they passed him off as a human artist.
Okay, I'm just looking at his paintings really quickly. I'm like, oh, they're beautiful. His colors are gorgeous.
They are gorgeous.
Wow, I love it. Yeah, I did post a video of Pocket's painting on the Good Radio website, so you can go there if you want to watch him paint. Easy way to find him. That's just amazing. did Storybook, did they used to travel to pet stores with a few of the monkeys in the past?
Did they travel to pet stores, did you say?
Yeah, did they do that?
No.
Okay.
These animals or these primates have all come in from, some came from a pet store.
Okay. I was at a pet store at a PetSmart, and they had a day where they brought in a few monkeys, and
no, they never have left
the
the sanctuary unless they've had to go to the veterinarian.
Okay, good
So
to know.
we would never take them out and say that here's the monkey and you can play with the monkey, or because we're very against this whole bringing the primates, and some places they do these sort of little roadside zoos where they bring these animals, but it's not safe as well. You're exposing your children to an animal that could potentially cause harm.
Right.
They do
Yeah,
bite.
let's talk about that when we come back, about their strength. Like you mentioned, their strength. I want to tell, what I'm sorry, what's the monkey from the IKEA monkey? Is it Derek?
Darwin.
Darwin. Okay.
Darwin.
Right.
Darwin. Yeah.
Darwin.
Let's tell his story, and because that was a big story, news day.
Yes, it was.
That was a big news day in Canada anyway, or in Ontario. I'm not sure how wide it went, but it was a big news day. We'll talk about that. And some of the other famous monkeys are who's going to be at, and let's talk about who's going to be at the benefit, and how many people you hope to get, and how much money you hope to raise, because you're totally supported by donation, as you mentioned at the very beginning. And so it's really important that, folks be able to do that. And is there anything online that they can purchase online without having to go there? Is an online auction going on or anything?
Well, Anita knows a bit more about the online auction. I think she can answer. Yeah.
Okay, so there is one. Okay, we got 1 minute, Anita.
Okay, well,
but we can talk more when we come back.
Okay, maybe when we come back from commercial, I can actually talk a little bit about some of these incredible artists who have donated.
Yes.
So the show at the Paper Mill Gallery is on Thursday. Then it will be. Then there will be an auction after that, and then after that, it will be at another. At the facility at the sanctuary itself, but that's all details to come.
Awesome, perfect. When we come back, we'll find out more about that. Don't go anywhere. Go take a bio break if you must, but come back because this is fun and important stuff. We're saving animals here.
Listening. Mission Unstoppable with Coach Frankie Picasso will continue right after these messages.
Stop.
It's the Fitness Minute with fitness expert Annette Hammond.
Some think that dessert is a naughty word, but it doesn't have to be. If you are a dessert lover, you will be happy to know that there are good choices that you can make so you can satisfy your sweet tooth and your after-dinner ritual of having dessert. Aim for low-calorie choices like low-fat Greek yogurt or 100-calorie popcorn. Both of these will fill you up and satisfy your yearning for dessert. There are also many good choices in the freezer section. Weight Watchers makes several good dessert options. They are delicious and very satisfying. Placing fresh berries over low-calorie angel food cake is delicious and nutritious. Sorbet, frozen grapes, baked apples, and chocolate-covered strawberries are all delectable. Choose healthy, low-calorie desserts and indulge. For the Fitness Minute, I'm Annette Hammond. Like us on Facebook at Fitness Minute with Annette Hammond.
The League of Women Voters reminds you that on Election Day, we are all equal. Please join your friends and neighbors by registering to vote and going to the polls November 8th. Visit www.vote411.org to find out who will be on your ballot and how the voting process works in your community. This election is about our future, and we all need to weigh in.
You're listening to Mission Unstoppable Radio. I am your host, Frankie Picasso. With me today is Anita Kunz and Charmaine Quinn. We are talking with them about the Story Book Primate Sanctuary, and some of the primates that are there, and the fundraiser that's happening, and all of the artists who are helping to help raise money for the sanctuary and the continuance of a safe place haven for all of them. So did we want to start with the artists first, do you think, Anita? Let's talk about some of them.
Sure. Absolutely. So, like I said, I was completely blown away that all of these amazing people would want to collaborate and donate art. So I'll just give you some examples. I mean, first of all, we have art from a lot of Toronto and Canadian artists. We have a lot of American artists, a lot of artists from New York City. We have one from Germany. We have one from England. One painting from England. We have. And we have two prints from the Ukraine. So this is kind of an international initiative. I know, I was completely blown away. So let me give you an example of some of these great people. So Ralph Steadman has donated a print, and he is the artist who was very famous for having worked with Hunter Thompson in the Fear and Loathing work.
Oh, wow.
So he's written incredible books. There's a documentary about him with Johnny Depp. So anyway, and then we have a few New Yorker cover artists. We have Barry Blitt, who did the famous New Yorker fist bump cover of Obama. He has done more New Yorker covers than any other artist in history. So he's done over 80. And he has sent us an original painting of Charles Darwin. So it's it's incredible. We have Tim O'Brien, who is a New York-based artist who has done a number of Time covers. He did the two previous ones of Donald Trump.
Okay.
And he's done covers for Rolling Stone magazine. He's done U.S. stamps. So he's incredible. There's an incredible original that he's done. It's like it's stunning. The caliber of work is extraordinary. We have Cynthia von Bueller, who is a New York-based artist. She's an author. She's an actress. She's a performer, playwright. We have Sue Coe, who is world famous she's English, but she lives in New York, outside of New York. She's famous for her anti-war and anti-animal cruelty work. And she's sent us 4 incredible woodblock prints. We have Jill Greenberg, who's an incredible New York-based photographer, originally from Montreal. She's also having a show right now at Beaugé Gallery across from the AGO, and so she sent us 1 print.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, so we have Paul Cook, who's a Toronto-based photographer. He utilizes sacred geometry. We have Terry Mosher, Aislinn, who, he's a of Canada.
Cartoonist.
And Telness, who is a Pulitzer Prize-winning cartoonist for the Washington Post. We have Seymour Quast, who is the New York legendary designer and co-founder of Pushpin Studio, along with Milton Glaser. I mean, these are extraordinary people.
Wow.
I could go on and on. But
these are who's who. Wow, you really brought them in.
People, so this is the caliber of work. We have Frank Viva, who is also a New Yorker cover artist. So, so not only is it an incredible show, just as far as an art show goes, but there's a wide range of aesthetics in the art. There's something for everyone. The price range is varied. So there's a lot that's affordable. Some of the higher end pieces are, I think, really great investments if you're an art collector.
Sure.
So I'll leave it there, but I mean, there's more information on the website, and we really, really hope people come and are able to. Oh, and they're great.
So which website is it on? Is it on the Storybook website or another website?
Oh, it's on. So it's listed on storybookmonkeys.org. Is that right, Charmaine?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the tickets for the show. So there's a link to that.
Right. So if you go storybookmonkeys.org, there's a lot more information about the monkeys. You can click on information about the fundraiser. You can buy tickets.
There we go.
Yeah, and there's great door prizes too, I should add.
Nice. Okay, and so now there is an online auction, or will that come after the live event?
That we were going to do it for the live event, but then we thought, you know what? Some of the, especially some of the more valuable pieces, the originals, we're gonna space it out a bit and do that probably in a couple of months.
Okay, perfect. Nice. All right. So it sounds like there's something for every. What would an entry level, let's say, painting or poster or print go for?
Well, we have some incredible works from some young New York artists. Victo Nye she's amazing. She sent us 4 prints, and they're signed and numbered prints, and they go for $100 each, and that's crazy. That's a really good price. Yeah. I think they deliberately lowered the prices sometimes just because they wanted to help the monkeys and they wanted to make sure the art would sell. Likewise, Marcos Chin, who is he's originally from Toronto but lives in New York. He sent some beautiful. I mean, there are the original artworks, and they're more expensive. I mean, they're up there, but there certainly are enough little prints that I think some of them are $50. So and I think it goes right up to $3,000. But that's even really inexpensive, I think, for for the caliber of some of the work.
I agree. And I just want people to understand that when you own an original piece of art, like that's, there's something very special about that. We made our decision in my house that we're only going to buy original art because it's just exciting and you want to help artists and I love art and I love artists. And so I think it's really cool. But, I know some of it's not affordable for the average person, but if you're an organization or a corporation and certainly want something in your lobby, that's fantastic. Here's an opportunity to find something new and very exciting that's actually could be part of your social responsibility program when you go buy it.
Exactly. I think you can help the monkeys. You can feel good about that, and you can get a really great piece of work. Artwork. There
you go. Great. I have to ask you, what is it like to have the Order of Canada? I mean, do we need to call you, madam or miss or damn, Anita?
It was really the biggest honor of my life, because, I've just, the life of I've been an illustrator for 40 years. And, for the most part, you spend all your life alone. I'm alone in my studio. And so I really have, at some points you don't really understand how you're perceived by the public because it's a very solitary endeavor. It was such an incredible honor, and I got the award from Michelle Jean, who I adore. I mean, she's amazing. So it was really a wonderful, it was really the best experience of my life. Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, that's exciting, very exciting. Charmaine, let's hear some of the stories of where these monkeys come from and why it's so important that storybooks stay open.
Okay. Well, we have, as you know, some of them came as pets from people. Some came from roadside zoos. I'll often tell you a bit about Rudy. Rudy's a very small little primate. He's a squirrel monkey. He was found in a storage container at Warden and Eglinton, and he was near death when he arrived. So he was in kidney failure at the time. So the vet treated him. He's bounced back. He looks great. But a lot of these people don't realize that when they're fueling this exotic pet trade, that only one of every primate that comes in, that's usually 5 die.
Oh,
so they usually they die on translocation in the process of getting them. They're in crates. I saw this in Borneo with orangutans. They ship them out in boxes upside down. They don't really have any concern about any water. There's nothing. So Rudy came with a number of other animals. Bengal cats, apparently they didn't make it, so they passed away. He was the one that did make it. Pierre is another one. He was a surplus animal from a roadside zoo. If we didn't take him, they would have euthanized Pierre. So it's, there's all these different stories. The ones from the research facility.
Yeah. Let's talk about what would a vet bill, typical vet bill? I mean, people have to understand where the money, why you need this money. Like, it's not just you have the land.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and they don't realize that a lot of these primates have a long lifespan. We have George. He's a black spider monkey. He's over 40 years old.
Wow.
So Darwin he could live up to 45 years.
Wow.
So that long-term care has to come from somewhere, and if it's not people trying to raise money and push ahead and try to save these animals, then where are they going to go? So, right. I mean, they have to have long-term care. They have to be fed. The thing with primates is that they do have a long lifespan.
Yes. Okay, sorry, I interrupted you. Tell us another story.
So we've got Boo and Gertie. So those are the two that came from a research facility. Once they were finished with the protocol, they managed to get out of the research facility because people that took care of them loved them enough to try to give them some sort of a future. But most of those research animals and primates are destroyed and euthanized after. So we've
is that because whatever they did to them was going to cause them more pain and suffering?
Well, they just at that point they've been medically tested, so it's finished. Like it's whatever research they've done on them, they don't need them anymore.
Uh-huh. So they're just disposable.
Yeah, they're disposable items, basically.
Wow. What a way for society to treat a living thing.
Right. It's once it's finished, it's like, okay, that they're not needed anymore, and that's it. So that their life would be finished. We've got Chico, who's an old capuchin monkey. He's over 40 years old. He came in, his teeth were in terrible shape. He was kept in a bird cage. So this would be for probably over 30 years living like that, though.
And so, I wonder what joy people get from looking at their little monkey in a bird cage. Like, what joy is there for them?
I know. I think it becomes just like a, like in Darwin, it was the same thing. He was on a harness.
Tell Darwin's story. Let's tell his story before we go to commercial. We've got 2 minutes.
Right. So Darwin came into us a few years ago. He was found in the IKEA parking lot wearing clothing and a Sherpa coat. At the time, the owner, we're not really sure what happened in that parking lot. Yep. She said he escaped from the car, but I mean, it's all very suspect.
It was a little speck. Yes.
It's you've got a very tiny monkey that escapes out of a car and a crate and it opens the door. It's very dramatic, but she probably realized that she could not take care of the monkey. I think this is what happens to a lot of the people that sort of have these pets. They do bite. They can't take care of them, and then what did they do with them? So Darwin ended up at Toronto Animal Services. They were going to euthanize Darwin if we hadn't taken him at the sanctuary.
And there's still a lot of passion, around his story and people thinking that it's, good, it's bad that you took him in. And I'm not really sure why people are running hot and cold on him. But we're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we can talk a little bit more about Darwin and the rest of the animals and what's going to be happening on Thursday night still. So don't go anywhere. We're coming right back. Story Book Sanctuary. Go there and check it out while we're taking our little commercial break. Storybookmonkey.org. Is that right?
S with it. Monkey.
Charmaine, it's storybookmonkeys.org, isn't it?
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. There's an S on the monkey.
Storybookmonkeys.org.
There you go.
Living your life without limits. Where would you go? Who would you meet? What would you do? During an Uncover Your Hidden Genius session, you will discover what's keeping you from living your life with purpose, passion, and fulfillment of your potential. You'll get a clear vision of the steps you need to take to uncover your hidden genius so that you can live a life without limits. Sessions can be done over the phone, Skype, or in person. Find out more at www.joycebufordempowers.com or by calling 903-287-0747.
This is the TogiNet Radio Network, radio with a cutting edge.
It's words you never heard.
Each year, the United States Postal Service successfully ships over 160 billion packages and letters, with bills traveling through the mail at twice the speed of checks. Automated sorting machines read zip codes and directs the mail to the proper destination. But last year, they failed to read some 2.4 billion pieces of mail, all because of cacography. That's bad handwriting. So what happens to all that errant mail? The post office hires more than 700 postal clerks to decipher the most difficult ones. When a sorting machine discovers an illegible address, it scans and sends a digital image to the clerk's computers. Amazingly, the average clerk can crack the code in just 3 seconds. Not everyone can keep up, though, as management at the post office is always pushing the envelope.
It's words you never heard.
I'm Carolyn Davidson, and you can have fun challenging your words you never heard vocabulary with my free app, Too Funny for Word.
Well, thanks for sticking around. Anita, you wanted to give us your observations about Storybook.
Yeah, I just wanted to sort of add a little bit. So of course I didn't know any of this stuff, and whenever I talk to people, they say, "Is that legal? You can have that?" People are really shocked that it's actually legal in so many areas to have an exotic pet, when typically the story ends so badly. But what I wanted to say, what I was really impressed with at the sanctuary, and I'm pretty new at this with my association with them, but not only are the monkeys observed, they're treated incredibly well. They're like, this is their forever home. They're warm in the winter, and they have a really nice enclosures outside. But the other thing that's really important is enrichment. The fact that they aren't just fed, but they have to work a little bit for their food. So wherever possible, the volunteers try to make it kind of an experience that would, as closely as possible, mimic what they might have, as well as they can in the natural world. So when they are fed, they have to make them work for it a little bit. Like they put them in bags and then boxes, so the monkeys, they don't get lazy, and they don't want them to be bored. So
right, boredom fuels really destruction in a lot of animals.
I guess that's it. But also to keep them happy and, So they're
and are they all together, or the different, like the capuchins with the capuchins and the squirrel monkeys with squirrel monkeys, or are they all together?
Some of them are
enemies
separate,
among
and
them?
Some of them are together. Yeah,
okay.
Some of the lemur groups are together. Two of the macaques are together. The 2 pairs of the macaques are together. We're just introducing the 2 baboons. They'll be together. But sometimes these animals come in by themselves, and they've never been exposed to other primates. So it takes a lot of work to get them to be reintroduced to their own kind. So
but typically they're a pack animal, aren't they?
They're a troop.
They live in families?
They would be in a troop. Right, they'd be in a family. So, no monkey really should realistically be in a sanctuary. This is not good that they're living their lives like this, and to try to make their lives as great as possible in a sanctuary setting. That's what we have to do. We have to give them enrichment, which is how that whole Pockets thing started, by giving him something fun to do, and it's each one of the monkeys has that ability to do something interesting. If one of them likes to look at herself in the mirror, so we give her mirrors. The other one likes to play with dolls. So the problem is some of these have been raised by humans too.
Yeah. What are typically some of your most important needs? Like I know at the dog pound they need paper towel and blankets for cleaning and all that kind of stuff. What do you guys need? What can we help you with other than money? Can people bring cabbages or something, or what do you need?
Actually we've been pretty good with we have a few grocery stores that give us natural foods and organic food and things like that. So sometimes we need toys. People can send things like that, peanuts, peanut butter, things that the monkeys like and that we can make enrichment items with, swings, things like that. We're always looking for fire hose so we can upgrade their exhibit. Building supplies are always a need.
And what about builders? Do you ever need people to help build?
We always need builders because we're always trying to expand the property. So it started off as a smaller sanctuary, and we've built on more. At the front, we've just the baboon enclosures are much bigger. That's been redone. So but it takes a lot of money to get this going. So we always need people like that would come and donate their time to build things. We need that kind of,
So is your food?
Somebody in construction would be great.
Yeah. Is your food all donated?
We have a lot of our food donated from some of the grocery stores, which has been really great.
Yeah.
Well, it should be. But it is expensive. We have to sort of sift through things. And,
and
we have to buy monkey chow. They eat a monkey biscuit. They eat, they eat better than I do.
Really?
Honest to God, yes. The monkey food is better than what I eat at home. It's salad, peanuts. They get vitamins every day. They get a monkey chow, which is it's like a protein. It's like a biscuit. That's what they give primates in sanctuaries or zoos, and that gives them some sort of their vitamins and things like that. So that's expensive as well.
Sure, of course. But I was thinking, I've done a couple of shows on ugly fruit and how grocery stores throw it out daily.
Right.
And like, because people don't want to buy something with a spot on it. And I'm like, they should just donate all of those to the sanctuary because they're just going to throw it out.
There's so much waste, isn't it?
There's so much waste. Yeah. What was it like for you to meet Dr. Jane Goodall? I mean, she's like one of my heroes, really. So
it was amazing. It was almost like when you're in The Wizard of Oz and you're going up there like the Cowardly Lion. I was shaking. I have the painting and everything shaking. And she was so gracious and so lovely. I met her at the Ontario Science Center, and it was arranged for me to bring the painting, which I named David Greybeard, which is actually had the start of how she started her study. So I had named that from Pockets to her. And at that point, too, I was lucky enough to get on her team when she'd come to Toronto as part of Dr. Goodall's team of a few, she'd have a few volunteers. So I managed to do that a few times after. So I would see her at different things like that. And but I love her. She's spending 300 days a year traveling all over the world because she loves chimpanzees. She could be in the forest and working and doing her research, but she loves them more than that. So she's spending her whole life donating her time traveling to educate people about them and the planet. It's not just the chimps; it's the conservation message.
What does Pockets like to paint with music or?
No, I have. Sometimes there's a TV on or there's music. It doesn't bother him either way. He does get a bit distracted sometimes with people, so I'm usually in there when it's very quiet.
Okay,
because he does kind of look around, see what's going on.
Have you ever told him a story like, this is for Dr. Jane Goodall, and she's like this wonderful chimpanzee lady, and have you ever told him a story before he's done a painting and see what he does?
I'm hoping maybe it's like through mental telepathy. No, he's probably very much just like I was saying before, like a little child. He just enjoys doing it and finds it the whole process interesting. It's I think it's the joy of doing it, which is really lovely that that the painting has brought in all these great artists that are coming in to help, and he's probably raised about over $60,000 through the years.
Fantastic.
In painting sales.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
what about
to help,
you paint
help
with
fund
music?
The sanctuary. What's that?
Do you paint with music?
Yeah, no. Well, I need quiet for that.
Excuse me. Does it ever get old for either of you? Or is it always like a wonder when you walk through there?
Always a wonder.
Nice.
Yeah, always a wonder.
Sorry, Charmaine. For me, I'm still new at this, so I'm still, I've been to the sanctuary, and I'm sort of, the monkeys don't know me, and I don't want to upset them. It's their home. It's like I'm going to their home, and maybe they don't want me to come.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I appreciate, I respect them, and I don't go right up to their enclosures. I sort of chill. I keep chill. And then the last time I was there, and I was outside the cage or one of the enclosures, and Pierre came up and just sat beside me. Oh no, it was Julian. Anyway, just sat beside me, and I was like so moved that he
chose to do that.
That he chose to do that because I think he was another abused primate, and just the trust. And I was just I didn't want to look him in the eye. I mean, it was like, I think they're extraordinary. I just think they're extraordinary creatures, and I think I think if anybody, like I know they have, Charmaine knows when the next open house is, but especially during the summer, once a month, people can come up and just see exactly what's going on. And I promise you'll be incredibly moved. And, you know, monkeys are extraordinary creatures. I mean, they're so like us, and, you know,
I love that.
It's worth a trip there.
Charmaine, how much does it cost to sponsor a monkey?
Well, there's different groups. So that some of the like Pockets, it would be a bit more because you can get a painting of Pockets.
Okay.
So I think for his it's $300 for the year. Some of the other ones it might be about $100. There's different ones that are up in the adoption program.
Sure. Yeah.
And that gives you a visit to the sanctuary, and then you can meet your monkey of choice and your primate of choice, and see which. You know, some people love lemurs, some people love the capuchins. Everyone loves George. He's the oldest and most vocal. He's over 40, and he's our senior with Chico. You know, there's a couple of them that are pretty old.
So Anita, you mentioned the open house. So, Charmaine, when is the next open house?
It's actually this on the 9th, which is Sunday. So they're having another open house, and then there'll be another one in May, and that's up on the website, the storybookmonkeys.org website. And people can buy tickets for that as well.
How much does it cost?
I think it's sometimes it's maybe $25 per person or a family. There's a group of and I think a family might be 50 or something like that.
Well, we've only got like a minute or two left. How much money do you hope to raise for on Thursday night?
Well,
what's your goal? Do you have a goal?
Even
if it's in your head, goal.
If somebody came through and bought all the paintings, I would just, I don't know. I would like to see. Well, I don't know, Anita. What do you think with all the paintings?
I hate to anscer that question. I don't want to.
I know, but
it's one thing to sell it. It's another thing to have a goal in your head and go, gee, you know what?
Well,
because
our last fundraiser,
a lot of attraction.
Our last fundraiser was over 10,000. So I would like to do at least that.
Okay. There's no shame in saying 15.
Yeah, I'd like to see 50,000.
Okay, there we go. Let's put that
I'd like to see somebody come in and say yes.
But I just also want to quickly mention. So the opening is on Thursday. The show runs, I think, 10 days after that. It's not up for very long. Okay. So you can buy tickets for the opening on storybookmonkeys.org, and then throughout the week, if you look at Paper Mill Gallery at Todd Morden Mills, and you can find the hours, and you can just go see the show and after the opening.
So after the opening, and people will be buying that evening, though, during the opening?
Yes.
And then after, if they're not sold, you can still continue to purchase?
Absolutely. You can continue to purchase. You can come look at the show. Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
And there'll be some Pockets artwork will be there as well. There'll be 5 paintings, and the one that Anita and Pockets collaborated on will be the main signature piece.
Nice. Very good.
Very nice.
Such a good piece. I just love that piece. Thank you, Charmaine Quinn, Anita Kunz. Thank you so much for joining me today.
For
bringing
you so
Storybook, monkeys.org to the world here. And we are so thrilled that we're able to get the word out and help you with helping the monkeys and supporting them. It's so great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
They didn't stop. Stories of people who, when the odds were against them, turned defeat into victory. You've been listening to Mission Unstoppable with Coach Frankie Picasso. See you next time, and always remember...
Don't stop.
It's words you never heard.
The first official 4th of July party was held at the White House in 1801.